Hello. Nowadays, when economic situation is getting worse, the number of thefts significantly rises, especially in the living premises. Why do we hear more and more often that thieves break so-called security doors faster than in a minute? Is it true that the safety of so-called security doors depends only on the locks mounted in? First, even the safest lock mounted in the poor construction of the door does not provide the premises with security. One can break an appropriately manufactured door using one small crowbar in a minute, and even faster, despite the fact that the door has two highest security locks. Now you can see how metallic security door is being broken by amateur who uses just one small crowbar. Since this door was produced like a simple metal box, i.e. not like construction resistant to breach, while breaking the leaf and casing is easily being deformed and tensed, reshaped, and the door is broken very fast without making a noise. And more about the noise. I must draw your attention that there was no neighbor who would have taken a look to what was on while breaking the door. In order to originate the door resistant to breach, you have to perform a lot of experiments in notified laboratories where all the information about all possible means of breach exists. The specialists of notified laboratory check whether the door is resistant to all known breaking methods, and only then they grant a certain level of security. That is why the safety of some security doors is doubtful. Now you can see how the security doors, which were tested in the vague laboratory and granted with the fourth class of security, are being broken. Since the beginning of 2008, we have performed a lot of tests in a notified scientific research laboratory well known in Western Europe, Rosenheim, Germany. Models resistant to breach and originated by us differ from the mass of security doors sold in the EU market. Security door Skidas Premium is a good example of especially high resistance to breach, good noise insulation, and also anti-fire qualities. Highest security lock is protected by two manganese plates which are resistant to drilling. Major and additional frames of locks are mounted in the protective steely boxes. Adjustable hinges of enhanced security. There are 8 locking points on the hinge side. There are 6 locking points on the lock side. Additionally, one is on the top and another one is on the bottom. Locking plugs are additionally protected with metallic tube. Leaf consists of combined design, grating, plate and grating again. The door is still protected by the plate and inside grating even after the outside grating has been outfaced. Additional rigid edges do not allow deforming of leaf. Double heating of the plate, the layer of pressed stone wool 3 cm from both sides. Door is awarded with 45 decibel noise insulation. The lock plugs are protected by 15 mm profile of flexed leaf and not by a plate. Fixation of the casing in a hole performs a very important role. It is fixed by plugs with protective steely hubs which recline against the wall and do not allow moving the casing from its place during break-in and protect fastening belts from being cut. Now you can see how the door was broken using big crowbars and equipment for drilling, hammering, etc. Decoration of the door is torn off. It is impossible to bend the angle of the door as it was done in previous cases because of firm design of the door. You can see the attempt to get to the plug of the lock by means of drilling and hammering. The intruder needs additional time to get to the plug since the plug is protected by a metallic tube. Even after cutting the plug, doors cannot be moved. An attempt to drill the lock, but in this case, the frame of the lock is protected by two manganese plates resistant to drilling and special metallic boxes for locks. Further, you can see the attempt to drill the locking plugs, but the access to locking plugs is protected by 15mm flexed door edge. It is expected to chip the lock while stabbing frame of the lock, since, as I mentioned earlier, there is no point to drill it because it is additionally protected by two manganese plates resistant to drilling. Even after having drilled the frame of the lock, it will be blocked. After failure with the door on the lock side, they're trying to damage the lower hinge by drilling, hammering and breaking. Even after cutting it, break is impossible due to 8 locking plugs in the hinge side and very firm metallic design. The attempt to break this door took more than an hour, but it was not successful. It is obvious that your home will turn into real fortress for uninvited guests behind such door.